Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So time to do a wrap up of all of the books that I read in the month of May. Now May was definitely my kind of lowest reading month that I've had in a while. So this month I read 4 books. I did read like parts of other books, so like I think I got like halfway through I think it was like 250 page book. I read like 100 pages of a different book towards the end of the month. So I have read more than what I finished. I just didn't finish those books. But that was also because I wasn't putting like a conscious effort into those books. Like I wasn't necessarily bothered. Like it wasn't that I wasn't enjoying the book, but I either just didn't read or I just wasn't bothered in finishing the book and wanted to pick up something else, because I did a month ago or so, or 6 weeks ago probably, start Binding 13. Or did I start it in this past month? I think I started it this past month, and I am currently just over 20% of the way through that, and obviously that's a big book. So again, like I said, I have read, I just haven't read that much. Anyway, I am rambling on. Let's get into not necessarily some of the stats, because I don't want to include like page count, because of the fact that I read more, like 3 of the books I read I had started in previous months, and granted I had read more of them, probably read more of the pages this month. It's hard to calculate sometimes. So my average rating for this month was 3.75 stars. My lowest rating was a 2 and my highest rating was a 5. So we have very much had a broad spectrum of reads. I did 3 of the books that I read I had started in a previous month. So I do feel quite successful, but obviously I then kind of added 2 extra ones onto my currently reading, so I haven't really cut it down. The other books have been on there for a while. So the first book that I finished was Dial P for Poison by Zara Keene. I rated this a 3 stars. This was okay, like there wasn't anything wrong with it, but I also didn't find it like anything special. I thought I will say it was slightly unpredictable, but it just felt very mundane. I would still recommend as kind of like an easy read. It was quite short, so therefore again easier to get through. I just hadn't picked it up after like the first chapter. Like I started it in January. I read whatever I read in January and then didn't pick it up again until this past month where I finished it. Yeah, nothing wrong with it, just not for me. I think that was like, it's part of a series, but they're kind of like standalone crime. I don't know what they come under. And I think like book 5 is like something for Santa or something. I might read that during closer towards Christmas, but because I've already purchased it, or maybe I got it for free, I can't remember. But yeah, then the next book I finished, which I am so glad to have finished, is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I rated this a 2 stars. This isn't a bad book, but this book wasn't for me. I was interested in the plot. I was interested in where it was going, but for me the chapters were too long. It was just very mundane. And as bad as it sounds, unless I just completely blanked over it, but the bit that I'm pretty sure was the cannibalism was quite tame, which is very weird to say, because I swear I think it was Rachel's review said that Destiny had mentioned there was cannibalism, and the thing that I think was the cannibalism, as bad as it sounds, in the context it was in, if it is what I think it was, which was, I can't remember his name, but it was when Alex gets like revenge on him for what he did to her roommate. If I'm not mistaken, and it's that scene, I just laughed and thought, fucking karma in that situation. Like, in real life, I would have probably like thrown up or something, because that is just disgusting. And it did actually make me think of like an experience as a healthcare, when I was a healthcare assistant, but which definitely did make me gag in my sleep. Not in my sleep, but like whilst I was in, like, not long after I'd read it, like I was going to bed, and it did then remind me of that experience as a healthcare assistant, and did make me gag. But in this context, I was like, fucking karma, mate, and I left. If it had been anything worse, and if I did miss something worse, then yeah. But I do have the Kindle version of book 2, and because it's currently a duology, I might read it just to kind of finish it, and because at the end the plot started plotting and I was interested, but I just didn't care throughout a lot of the book. I kind of had to force myself to pick it up. I was using this as my, like, when NHL games were on, during the intervals between periods, this was the book I was reading. When my game went to like ads for like 2 minutes, I would pick up this, especially because I read it mostly on Kindle after a certain point, because I went, I had some training away from home, so it was easy to take my Kindle for a book that I did not care about. But yeah, basically this will be donated. I don't need this in my home. Like, it can go. Last month I got rid of loads of books. This month I've obviously only got rid of one, but I'm not going to miss this at all. Then the next book I finished, I did rate it at 5 stars, even though there was a big gap between me starting it and finishing it. But that is Play Along by Liz Tomford. I just loved it. I loved the character arc. I loved the kind, like, for both of them, I loved the way they kind of expressed the emotions and their affections. And I loved it. And I loved the kind of like background plot that was related to Kennedy, but kind of had its own kind of space. And I did very much enjoy that. And I obviously very much loved seeing all like the cameos from previous characters. And in this book, the timeline has caught up to what the epilogue was in Caught Up, Right Move, which that's everyone's favourite. Mine currently is book 3, Caught Up. Granted, I was reading it at like 2 a.m, but I was sobbing my eyes out at the ending of Caught Up. Like, I wished I had a physical copy of Caught Up, and if I do see it in the works, I will definitely buy it because I need that physical book. Books 1 and 2, I don't care about as much. If I get like a bigger, when I'm like eventually move out, if I get more bookcases, then maybe I'll buy books 1 and 2. But for now, I just want to get my hands on book 3 again, because I loved it. And also because this is the brother of, like, Isaiah is the brother of Kai, who is the main character, like the main male character in book 3, you do get to see kind of a lot of like Kai and Max, Max is Kai's son and therefore Isaiah's nephew. So you get to see a lot of him and Kennedy interacting with him, because she is best friends with Miller, who is but the female character in book 3. So yeah, I very much enjoyed that. I love the fan family. I have got Rewind It Back on my June TBR. Very much I'm going to get to it. This month I did only get to 1 book on my TBR. And that was right towards the end. I did make a start on the other. Like, it was the one that I got 100 pages into. But yeah, I very much recommend. I will say, so there is, I feel like this is the kind of more reasonable spice. Books 1 and 2, I think the spice almost happened too soon. This was definitely a little bit more of a slower burn. Like the spice still wasn't like towards the end, like it still happened pretty much at the start at like a 60% mark. I can't remember when it was, but it felt kind of more natural. Okay, so I lie. This last book I rated a 4.5, but I rounded it up to a 5. So my average is just under 3.75. Oops. The final book that I read in May was The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Like I said, I rated this a 4.5. This is the only one that I actually put like a review on. So I put, finish this in less than 24 hours and 2 sittings. I thoroughly enjoyed it and hate that I don't immediately have book 3 to hand. Very much the sentiment. I, again, very much wish I had book 3 to hand. I definitely will be purchasing it probably towards like the middle of the month, because I don't need it at this moment in time. But this, so book 1 was a 4-star, but probably could be bumped up to like a 4.5, because I have before, like I had been thinking about it, like, oh, I can't wait to get back into this world, like before I purchased this. And then I purchased this in, I think it was April, so immediately it was like, I want to pick this up like very, very soon, which is what I did do. Yeah, I can't wait to get book 3. I definitely think I'm going to be one of the people who read like this sort of spin-off, so like the Brothers Hawthorne, like the Final Gambit, all of that, because I do love like the clues and the games, and it's just going to be fun. Yeah, I very much enjoy it. I'm excited to see how this will end and like how she will conclude it, and I hope. So I also read the Natural series, and I hope that she comes out with something in like that kind of general like mystery whatever. Like I know she's still writing like to do with like this world, but I hope she comes out with like a new series that has this same kind of like wonder and like same mystery, and like, yeah, I do love reading like billionaire kind of stuff sometimes, and especially when it's done in this way where it's like that over the top, like this is really big like rooms and secret passageways. I love a secret passageway type thing, love it. So yeah, highly recommend this series. Yeah, I just can't wait to buy book number 3, because yeah, I cannot wait. But yeah, obviously that's all of the books that I have read this like in May. I have a feeling I'm going to end up reading slightly more in June. Just I'm back in that reading mood. I don't know what it was in May that, well, I sort of do. I was back in my Sims area a little bit. So I was definitely reading kind of more of that. Well, not reading, I was playing more of that. And I wasn't, like I was slumping. Like I was definitely slumping. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what books you read in the month of May. Let me know what videos you want to see from me, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.